everybody. My name is Justyna, and I'm the founder of Women in Blockchain Canada. I'm here at ETHDenver with Derek, who is the Global Community Lead for Orchid. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm excellent. I came by the Orchid booth yesterday, and Derek got me into it. So I'd like him to get you into it. So tell us what you guys are all about.
Yeah, so the core of what Orchid does is this nano payment smart contract that accelerates payments, allows you to do microtransactions on-chain, at scale, on any EVM chain that we've deployed the smart contract on. And a few of them include Ethereum, Gnosis, Avalanche, Polygon, Aurora, BNB chain, Optimism, who's right behind us over here. And there's a good chance your favorite EVM chain supports the nano payments protocol. And yeah, like I said, it allows you to do really, really tiny payments off-chain that every once in a while on a probabilistically determined time frame, which is random basically, issue an on-chain payment so that the users of whatever trustless marketplace is using the payments layer, that those users are paying only what they're using and that the providers are getting paid for exactly what they're providing. A few years ago, most people know Orchid for its VPN protocol, which we built to dog food, the smart contracts and the payment layer, make sure that it works. We've iterated a lot on that over the last 3 years, and it's given us a chance to iterate on the VPN protocol itself, on the client apps, the user experience, and of course the underlying smart contract. So this year we're focused on building a new version of the server and encouraging other developers to build protocols on the nano payments smart contract, and we'll use that as their settlement layer, payment settlement layer. And of course we're continuing to get feedback on the DApp so that we can continue to improve the VPN experience in the meantime. So 2023 is looking really exciting, and that's what we're up to right now.
Awesome. And you are also a fellow Canadian.
I am. Yes, Ontario, born and raised. Sorry for any Quebecers who wish maybe I was born there, but je parle un petit peu de français, but I'm an Anglophone.
And so I kind of want to go into another topic now, and that is, do you think blockchain ends up leading to financial literacy?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think blockchain forces you to think about how much money you're spending, to consider the transaction fees depending on the chain you're using, and to, you really get to see your money front and center, kind of the way it was with cash, right? So when you're spending cash, you actually see like $20 bill, $50 bill. When you're creating a wallet for the first time or funding your Orchid account for the first time, you really see that you are locking up, even if it's 50 cents worth of tokens, you see that you're locking it up for this specific purpose. So yeah, I think it will help you think about your budget for a VPN service or buying NFTs or things like that, and really make you consider, where am I putting this money? What's it going to be used for? And if you're the type of person who's treating it as an investment, really consider what happens if this goes to zero, this particular token or coin, and really make you think about those things, which is something you should be thinking about anyway, even if it's on the stock market or a bond or a mutual fund, but I think doubly more so with cryptocurrencies in general.
And within your journey in the space, how has it increased your financial literacy? How has it affected your financial literacy?
For me, it's really opened up my eyes to things that I've wanted to be able to do, like real estate investing, but without having 20% down payment for a second home in Canada, that's not really practical. So it's really opened up the possibilities there to set money aside, participate in real estate investing through a fractionalized platform like Realty or Proppy or Lofty, and actually see that money grow. And I don't have to wait for rent payments to come in or to have to handle property management companies or things like that. Somebody's handling that all for me. But when you get your report every week of the money coming in that you are participating in because it's your portion of the rent, for me it helps me to understand things like yield a little bit better. 9% yield, 11% yield, and the actual impact at the end of the day.
Have you ended up using different tools to track the movement of your money and things like that? Has that helped you be more cognizant of where things are going?
Yeah, so tools, aggregator tools like Zapper and Zerion are fantastic. Some platforms have a really good dashboard on their own, other ones don't. So sometimes you have to rely on on integrating the platform that you're using. But if they do, and thankfully in my case that happens most of the time, it's really great to be able to see all of your money in one place, not at the bank, and you literally have full control over where that money's going and deciding when to pull it out. So, I'm getting a fairly fixed income off of real estate investing, but it's not a GIC, so it's not locked in. I have the freedom to sell those tokens to somebody else, and that's definitely something I consider before putting my money in somewhere.
Wonderful. And so in your own journey, it seems like it's really made you grow and understand things a lot more within the space.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the amount of freedom also comes with a learning curve. But if you're willing to put in that time and that effort to understand, to go through that learning curve and be a liquidity pool, a liquidity provider, or delegate tokens in a network that hopefully has long-term value, like the Graph, for example, or potentially, set up what is effectively a small business and participate as a VPN provider in Orchid, you have to stake OXT in order to do that. And so you have to understand the value proposition there. So it's not just I'm going to put tokens in and hope for the best. You really should do a little bit of homework to understand how much money am I putting in? What is the return on that for actively participating in a platform of some kind?
Wonderful, thank you. And I guess my last thing is, if you were explaining Orchid to your grandma, how would you explain it?
I would say that, oh boy. Well, first of all, I'd probably have to do it in Portuguese. Barring that, I'd probably tell her that it allows me to pay for a service on a pay-as-you-go model. And at any time, if I decide that I'm not happy with the service, I can pull my money out without having to ask for a refund. And on the other hand, for the providers, they get paid for providing a high-quality service, and they are incentivized to provide a high-quality service because at any time, people can stop using it and actually pull their money out entirely instead of having to ask for a refund, be beholden to whatever terms of service that the provider has put in place. And so you're really incentivized to make sure you are doing a really good job of providing that product.
I think yesterday when we were talking, what you said to me was essentially if I'm watching a YouTube video but I only watch 3 minutes of it, that means I'm only paying for 3 minutes of the video. So just to even make it more real for everybody, could you go into that?
Sure. So kind of over the last few days explaining things to people and how this thing works, I realized Netflix spent a lot of time and money putting together this new ad streaming subsidized tier. So they needed to hire business development people, salespeople for this ad sales model, create this entire new tier of their streaming service and make sure that they're billing appropriately for it. And going through the business process, like the business decisions of how to price it, how much money do we need to raise from the ad sales. If they had adopted a model like Orchid's where somebody could fund an account with just one XDAI, which is worth roughly $1 and start watching TV services or TV shows or movies, they would pay for exactly the number of kilobytes or gigabytes that they're streaming. Or Netflix could decide to do that on a per second or even a per minute model. And therefore, if the TV show is good, the viewer reaches the end and they would pay for the whole TV show or the whole movie. And if they decide the show's not very good, obviously they're not paying for watching the entire TV show. They might watch half of it and realize this is not for me for whatever reason. And then they can stop watching the show and watch something else. That person might decide in the long run, Netflix is just not for me. And as a consumer, they would have the ability to pull out whatever money's left over in their account, retain ownership of that, and go on to something else, go to Disney Plus or Amazon Prime Video or something else.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's
My pleasure.
A pleasure to meet you.
Thanks for coming by again.
Thank you.